Hello and welcome to GeoJournal Club. Today we will be talking about emeralds specifically in Colombia, which is a country that is famous for the quality of those gems. The paper, which could call is a technical report, and can be found on CEDAR or here just by typing this DOI number, you will get to a place where there is a PDF of the report. It's a 60 pages report and it combines all the geological knowledge that we have at this moment about the emeralds. As usual, I will let you read this slide at your own page. I would just like to do some comments on the project and the emeralds in general. There are two hypotheses about the origin of emeralds in Colombia. One is a sedimentary theory, which I don't agree with, and the other one is an hydrothermal origin associated to deep faults from to fluids that come along deep faults and are rich in beryllium, and they get filtered by the host rocks that usually in this area it's just two types of host rocks, being shells, low metamorphic rocks, or limestones. When you have these liquids, this fluid, hydrothermal fluid, filtered by limestone, you get the most beautiful green, deep green emerald, like the imperial class, which are really, really wonderful. Now, the other thing that is very important to know is that in the same area, geographically related, I'm not sure if they are genetically related, we find a lot of SEDEX kind of deposit, which you also know that is a kind of sedimentary mineralization, but also related to hydrothermal fluids. I have worked in this area, explored a lot of the area. I have never seen granitoids or any magmatic intrusive in the area. However, in some of and the area you can see is a very large area. This is the Anticlinori of Boyacá. It's a huge structural zone, and I also try to look for pebbles in rivers, etc. And yes, you can find some rounded pieces of granulite or tonalites, but I don't think they're just class that have been transported from far away. The area where you find both the sedex and the emeralds are basically sedimentary units like limestone or low metamorphic units like the shells. What method did we use during the exploration of this area? Basically, most important, geological mapping. That is the first thing that you need to do always. We also did a geochemical sampling using, for the first time in Colombia, an enzyme leach technology. You can ask activation laboratories for this type of analysis. First of all, you only need a few grams of material. There are no processing of the sample, and you get up to 63 elements down to precision of part per trillion. It's a very, very effective geochemical analysis. We also use satellite interpretation, basically from Photosat here in Canada. And as one of the main tools, we did a very complete lineament analysis of the region, determining the main, secondary, tertiary, and the circular lineaments. And the combination of the lineament analysis with the satellite interpretation, the geochemistry, and the mapping was the key to understand the formation of these emeralds. Also, as I mentioned, when we are in the river, we also look at the rounded clasts that you find in the bed of the river that give you an idea of the regional geology. And we, of course, visited several mines walk all the along the walls in underground mining. We have applied compositional data analysis, range correlation analysis, three-dimensional modeling, and many other techniques. One of them was a technique called the binary distribution study, which basically, when you have an area and you plot the location of your mines, this method allows you to have an idea if the distribution of the ore of the mines is casual or is it related to something. In our case, it was clear that there is a factor, a geological factor, that is controlling the distribution of the mines in the area, and of course, that was the linear analysis. So, a combination of this linear analysis, the satellite, the mapping, the soil sampling, was key in first understanding the chemistry of the region and how these emeralds get to form inside specific zones in the area. As I mentioned before, there is also big potential for SEDEX type of mineralization, zinc, lead, and silver. And since the exploration for this type of deposit is easier, I always said that a company will do good to explore first for the SEDEX type and find the emeralds later, like the cream on top of the pie, because there is a huge potential for zinc, lead, and silver, with a little bit of gold, of course, in this area, apart from the emerald. We also determined that there is a key, like a sequence in the alteration that you see, and it's like a vector that points you to the places where you can find the mineralization. So, for example, you find in the outer rims of the potential zone, you find an iron oxidation, then propyliticization, down to the kaolinitic zone, which, if it develops in a proper tectonic environment, meaning that there will be a lot of tertiary intersections, etc., then you will find good gems of emeralds in this thing. And sometimes this sequence you can see it with your eyes once you get the plier class disappearing and the presence of feldspar. Well, you have passed that rubicon, that limit, after which you can find emeralds if the tectonic environment is appropriate. I have the opportunity of talking to many of these miners, and I have even take them by the hand and walk on the surface and say, you don't need to do these holes, these mines, to find the area. You can just walk and you will see this sequence. And look, here, this is the area that you are intersecting 200 meters from the wall inside the rock. In the whole history of Boyacá, there have been only one company. It was a Chilean company that exploited the emeralds in an open pit fashion. For some reason, probably internal pressures or whatever, they stopped and they left. But most of these emeralds can and should be exploited right from the surface. You don't need to do little holes in the ground to get to these areas. Just do some geological mapping. If you combine this with the presence of the SEDEX type of mineralization, then the economic risk of this kind of exploration will be lowered, and that way you will be more efficient when exploring for emeralds. Basically, what you need to have a combination of chemistry that allows you to see the movement of the hydrothermal fluid reaching beryllium, and you need to have a tectonic environment where this fluid could deposit. And before that, in between, you need to have a host rock that can filter the original hydrothermal fluid, which, as I said, in my opinion, is related to deep faults, not to a magmatic intrusive close by. There are some limitations to the study, of course. We are working in little pieces of a big geoscope, and it would be great if you could do a more regional study, and that is what we propose in this report. Of course, we understand that because this area is, I mean, you will not find 1 square centimeter that is not claimed, and it had multiple different owners, and it's very, very difficult to do some kind of regional exploration in these conditions. But like an institution like a university or the Geological Society of Colombia or even the Agencia Nacional Minera, they could have organized this more regional study because, in my opinion, the ore potential, not only for gems but also for the set of the Boyacá anticlinorium, has not been completely studied. There is a lot of potential outside of where they are. There is a saying that the best place to look for a mine is next to a mine, but in this case, there is no space left. So we need to look outside these areas. And a combination, as I said, of methods like regional mapping, satellite imagery, linear meta-analysis, geochemistry, and geophysics, all of them low cost and very well known methods. And besides, now with the aid of drones, it could be even be done faster and cheaper. We will be able to really determine the potential of the Boyacá anticlinorium, as I said, not only for emeralds, but also for SEDEX type of mineralization. So that's it. Again, you can find the whole report. It's a 60-page report on CEDAR, or use the DOI number at the beginning of this presentation, and you can have the whole report. We explain there all the techniques that we use, all the keys, and it would be interesting if you're working in other places of the world for looking for emeralds. You can test some of these methods and let me know right down there. Oh, yes, it works here, or no, it doesn't work here. So that is something very local to. Once again, thank you for watching. See you next time. Have a great day.
My name is Ricardo Valls. I am a professional geologist registered in the province of Ontario, Canada, and also the president of Valls Geoconsultant. Geology, geochemistry, structural analysis, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. I am sure you will find something useful among my over 550 videos.
I think these videos are brilliant, and I'm sure you will like them too. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell.